everyone. Today's the day we start using calculations in Excel. And you use functions or formulas to do calculations in Excel. Now, there is a difference between a function and a formula. A function is a predefined spreadsheet formula that will do a calculation for you. And a formula is like an equation that you would type in, for instance, A times B. So now, when we do a function in Excel, we obviously need operators like plus, minus, multiply, and divide. So if you look at my screen, I can show you that the plus is the normal plus sign. The minus is the normal minus. We use the asterisk to multiply, and we use the / to divide. And that's basically what we use in Excel to do our calculations. Now, Excel has another function that makes our lives easier, is that it has various error indicators, which means it'll throw up an error message if we make a mistake when we input a function or a formula. And those, I'm going to have a look at those now. So if in an Excel spreadsheet, you get a whole lot of hashes together, it means that the column is too narrow and you would have to make it wider. If you look at my spreadsheet here, I have a number of hashes in cell B6. So all I need to do is make my column wider, and it fixes the error and it shows you the actual number in that cell. If you get an error message that has got hash name with a question mark at the end of it, it means that you haven't spelled the function name correctly. So if I click here on cell D8, sum has been spelled incorrectly. So if I spell the word sum correctly and I enter, it fixes the error and it does the calculation. One of the most common errors that get thrown up is the hash div /0, which means you are trying to divide a cell by 0, and mathematically you cannot divide anything by 0, so it's completely incorrect. So if I had to click on cell E3, you can see I'm trying to divide by 0, and if I take the 0 out, it'll perform my calculation. The next error that comes up quite often is the value error. And that means you are trying to use an incorrect value in a function or a formula, or you are trying to put a text in a function or a formula. So if I click on cell B7 and I look at the formula bar, it tells me I'm trying to multiply C7 by C5. And C7 has got an error message in it. That's why it will not allow me to do the function. But if I click in cell C7 as the word average, if I change the word average to a number, it automatically corrects the error. And that's basically most of the error messages that you will get in Excel. So now what we are going to do is we are going to move on and start with some basic calculations like adding, finding the highest number, the lowest number, counting how many elements we have in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to start with the word count. Okay, now count tells you how many elements you have in a spreadsheet. For instance, if you have a list of clients, count will count how many clients you have in your spreadsheet. And it's quite simple to do. The first thing you've got to remember when you do a function in a spreadsheet is that you always put in the equals first. By putting in the equals, you are telling the computer that you want to perform a calculation. Now, there is count and there is count A. Let me tell you the difference. Count A counts text, and count on its own counts numbers. So here in cell A113, I am going to use count A to count the number of names that I have. So I've typed equals count A. I'm now going to drag the range that I want counted. It's quite a long range. And once I've done that, I'm going to press enter, and it puts in the answer for me. So there are 109 names in my spreadsheet. If you just simply want to add something up, you use sum. So I'm going to click in cell B10, and I'm going to add up these numbers. Again, I'm typing in the word, the equal sign. I'm going to type in the word sum. I open my brackets, and I'm going to highlight the range that I want in my to add up. I'm going to close my brackets, and I'm going to press enter, and it'll give me an answer. Now, if you look, it says equal sum, open brackets, B2 colon B8. In Excel, that colon means 2. So in other words, I'm adding up from cell B2 to cell B8 with everything in between. If I wanted to work out the average of something, we use the average function, and it's just as simple as sum. I'm going to type my equals in first. I'm going to type in the word average. You can see as you're typing in the word average, Excel assumes that you want to work out the average. So you can just click on average. You open your brackets. We always type our range in brackets. I want to work out the average from B2 to B8. I'm going to close my brackets and press enter, and it gives me the average. Now, you might want to have decimal places in an average, and you might want to have more than one decimal place. So you can format your number to have however many decimal places that you like. And to do this, you just right-click on your number. You go to Format Cells. On the left-hand side, under Category, we're going to choose Number. And on the right-hand side, it gives you an option of however many decimal places you want. I'm going to choose 2, and I'm going to say OK. And it will have formatted our answer to 2 decimal places. So now to find the highest and the lowest numbers in a range, we use max to find the highest, and we use min to find the lowest. So I am going to type in lowest amount, so we know what we're going to do, and underneath that I'm going to type in highest amount. So next to lowest amount, I'm going to use the min function. So I'm going to type in equals min. Can you see that Excel's already brought up min? I'm going to open my brackets, highlight the range that I want to find the lowest number in. I'm going to close my brackets, and I'm going to press enter, and we get 150. So that is the lowest number in the range from B4 to B9. Now we're going to find the highest number in the range. So I'm going to type in equals max, because max stands for maximum. And I'm going to drag my range again from B4 to B9, close my brackets and enter. And my highest number in the range is 325. So that was quite simple. Now we are going to do another calculation, and that calculation is median and mode. And what median and mode does, it finds the middle number, or it finds the most popular number. So I'm going to click at the top of my spreadsheet, and I'm just going to type in mode, and underneath it median, so we know what functions we're going to use. So I'm going to say equals mode, and I'm going to drag my range. I think it's from F4 to F113. You can also type in your range instead of highlighting it. And it tells me that 67 is the mode. Now I'm going to type in median. I'm going to use the same range, F4 to F113. and the median is 65. So mode is the middle number, and median is the number that is used most often in a range of cells. And that brings us to the end of our first lesson on functions and formulas. I will see you next time.